Rarely is the subject of sustainability more hotly debated than when discussing the destruction of the world's tropical rainforests, with much of the blame being attributed to the global construction industry. But as the building trade struggles to source alternative sustainable hard-wearing materials, a product has recently been developed that promises to revolutionise the use of wood-based composite panels, and in so doing greatly reduce the demand for high-value tropical hardwoods. Developed through a recently signed 50-50 joint venture between Axis Technologies and INEOS Technologies, Tricoya combines all the benefits of easily machinable MDF with the more durable properties of tropical hardwoods.
Tricoya is a sort of an MDF, but an MDF you can put outside that doesn't soak up water like a sponge and doesn't deteriorate in any way outside.
Tricoya uses a process known as acetylation, which changes the properties of a softwood to the point where it no longer absorbs water and thus behaves like a weather-resistant hardwood, whilst at the same time retaining the ease of use associated with MDF.
Using acetylated wood, we are able to use easily harvestable softwoods and can turn the wood into high-performance, long-lived materials which can be used for a whole range of products such as windows, doors, decking, cladding.
With this product with Tricoya, you can actually use a wood-based panel in an outside application and be sure that in 50 years it still looks good.
There are panel products which can be used externally but which are very difficult to machine because they have to be preformed and then they have to be put on the wall and you can't do anything with it. And we've seen many examples of facades which can be molded very nicely, made out of Tricoya, which you otherwise would never be able to do.
Giving architects the freedom to once again use wood in all manner of external applications previously thought of as either too expensive or environmentally unsound. Tricoya heralds a new era in the production of wood-based composite panels.
The primary thing is, of course, you can make the board material, the product itself, from sustainable forests. So from softwood forests, and it imparts the properties of hardwood to softwood. And it also gives you the ability to make sort of fabricated boards. So for example, you can replace aluminium on buildings, you can paint it, you can put it outside on the deck, you can put it outside in the garden, you could build sheds from it, you could build wet rooms from it and so on. And all these applications today are served by sometimes actually quite expensive materials. And if you look at the sustainability of those competing materials as well and then compare with Tricoya and see that it comes from sustainable forestry essentially, then it looks a pretty compelling offer as a sustainable material.
Compelling indeed. As if further proof were needed, Tricoya was recently voted Sustain magazine's Product of the Year.
The Sustain magazine Product of the Year was a great feather in our cap. The judges must have looked at it as a whole and seen that the application of acetylation for wood in the form of Tricoya is this highly sustainable process and product.
We have to remember that sustainability is not just about sustainable forests and so on. It has to be economic as well. And whilst it looked to us a very good idea, it also looked to us an economically attractive idea because it can displace much more expensive products. So those two had to come together for our interest.
Axis and INEOS, we first met about 18 months ago, and Pete Williams and I, for a long time, tried to find the best way of meeting our joint ambitions.
In a company like INEOS, or in any company for that matter, nearly all the ideas in the world are outside the company by definition, because lots of people have great ideas. What's rare, however, is to find people with great ideas who also have the capability to deliver them. And I think that's where a company like INEOS can bring, what a company like INEOS can bring to new ideas, the capability to deliver them. And the capability is not just, it's not a financial capability really, yes that helps, but it's actually a capability, as I say, in terms of scaling, commercialization, understanding how to place something in the market and so on. All the things that INEOS tries its best to do well, you can bring to those new ideas.
The wood panel industry is a global industry. There are wood panel manufacturers all over the world. In the last 10 years it has moved very much over to China and the emerging markets, but it is evident it's a strong presence everywhere. And we hope to sell licenses and to have operators producing Tricoya everywhere in the world in the long run.
Today it's
It's a small company of 6 people. As a general manager, I am expecting running in future quite a large company, making a big amount of money, and I hope that we are going to be capable to reach 5-10% of the MDF market, which will represent something like 1 million, 2 million tons of license capacity.
I think it's probable that Axis would have got there with Tricoya at some stage, but the value proposition was us bringing this ready-made business capability and technology and commercialization capability alongside what looked to us to be a very good idea.
It's a brilliant product, so we really look forward to, together with INEOS, exploiting this new technology.